Rickie, you're right in the mix in terms of the FedEx Cup standings, currently 6th. Just talk about this week coming back to a place where you've obviously had some great success.
Yeah, definitely excited to be back at a place that we've won, and like you said, in a good spot, and FedEx Cup points coming into the second playoff event. And I think the ultimate goal is to make sure that we're inside the top 5 going into Atlanta, so we can kind of control our own destiny there. Ultimately, like to continue to play well, get ourselves a win to make sure that we're really inside of that and potentially near the top. Then the higher you can get, the better chance you have it at Atlanta.
All right, we'll start with some questions. You can just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Do you have any? Let's go, Taryn.
Coming into the week at a place that you've won before, do you approach differently because you're a little bit more comfortable on the course, or has that kind of changed things?
I definitely think that versus last week playing a place that we'd never played before, coming here where we've had handful of tournaments, and to have won here, coming in with a lot more confidence, knowing that we can play well here. So relaxed and confident with the way I've been playing this year, consistent and kind of doing well all throughout the game. Nothing's necessarily struggled. Everything's been pretty solid. But like I said, yeah, it's nice to have that little extra confidence and, like I said, being relaxed as well, knowing that we can go play well here.
Rickie, there's been speculation that this tournament could drop by the wayside because of the reordering of tournaments that was proposed last month. Given the fact that you won here a couple of years ago, would you be disappointed to see Boston fall out of the loop? And what is your thought on the whole reordering?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, it's I'm always going to have great memories here, having won here 2 years ago. But with I know there's been talk of the playoffs potentially going to maybe 3 tournaments. I think it's a good thing. I think from my point of view, I've thought that maybe the playoffs should go to less guys getting in, and make it more like playoffs of other sports as well. You don't see all teams in the NFL going into the playoffs. You don't see all the guys going into October in the MLB. So yeah, we'll see. I know it's a work in progress. Is it ever going to be perfect? Probably not. But I know the big thing with the talk not going up against football, to where we can try and push the TV ratings and making sure that we're getting as much visibility as possible. Because I know it can become a little bit tougher towards the end of the playoffs, especially when you have guys playing for the FedEx Cup and then you're competing against football, it becomes a bit tough. So if we can make it to where we're the thing to watch on TV at the end of our season, I think that's the main goal.
Mike?
Rickie, the redesigned 12th has obviously become a discussion point this week. Just curious what your thoughts are about that hole.
I had forgotten that they're doing that up until my caddy had mentioned last week that he was going to be getting here earlier to walk and then ultimately check out 12 and 13. And it's a lot harder hole for the most part. It's an easier drive. It's just a lot longer second shot. I thought 12 was a great hole before. There was. You had to hit the fairway to the right pins. Like I said, it is a bit more of a generous tee shot depending on what you're trying to do. I didn't see it today where you could push it up the left side because it was into the wind. So I had to hit driver 5 wood. Whereas before, into the wind on the old hole, it might have been a 6 iron at most. So yeah, it is harder. It'll be interesting to see how it plays this week. I know we're supposed to get some wind out of the north next 2 days. Then there's southeast and I think west-southwest. So we're going to see a little bit of everything. Typically we're a southwest-ish area through this tournament, but unfortunately we're going to have to deal with a cold front. So yeah, like I said, we'll see how it plays through the week. And Gil actually came out on the 12th fairway when I was out there, asking me my opinion. It was the first time I had seen it. I hit it down the middle of the fairway, hit a 5 wood to 6 or 7 feet, and I made birdie, so I like it. if we can just kind of keep doing that, that'd be great. But my caddy told me before the round, it's a hole right now where kind of hit it out there, try and make 4-4s through the week, and you'd be happy with that. It's a tough hole. There's no question about it. It'll be, like I said, interesting to see how it plays through the week, and then if there are any tweaks after this week.
Tom?
Excuse me. Rickie, in 2015 when you won, it came down to pretty much you and Henrik Stenson. It was a pretty good final round. And really, we've got a good history of finishes here. But can you match your play on that in other wins that you've had down the stretch? Can you name a couple of other nice, exciting finishes that you have other than what happened here in 2015?
Yeah, it was definitely a fun battle and a good battle between Henrik and I, going in the back nine. I think I remember making birdie on 11 and really put myself in a good position to kind of chase him down. He was a few out front, and it really came down to the last few holes. So it was a good, fun battle. It worked out okay for Henrik as well. He won the Open the next year, so I don't think he held that loss too bad. I would have switched him. That would have been nice, but I mean, it was a great win. But for me, there's not really any that come close to her compared to the players, and kind of the come from behind and get myself in a playoff and ultimately to get the job done there on 17.
Any other questions for Rickie, guys? Mike? Yeah.
Rickie, you've been to Liberty National a few times. Have you ever had a Statue of Liberty moment where you've been able to take a step back at that course and kind of just enjoy the fact that it's so close to Statue of Liberty?
Yeah, from the first time I went there, I think we played there in 13, and you really have views of the city and the statue almost the whole way around the course. There's only a couple holes where you can't see something of some sort of view. It's a special piece of property, and I've enjoyed playing there. We went and played Sunday before Northern Trust last week, and I'm really looking forward to the event there. But no, I remember definitely a few times. I remember one time I walked up the wall on 18. I think someone ended up snapping a picture of me as I was walking up the wall there, and then we flew in via helicopter from the Hamptons that Sunday morning. So when we flew in, kind of fly right over the Statue of Liberty and into the course with the stands are already up over there. So, and I was with my girlfriend and JT, and they hadn't really seen it that way. I had flown into the city before with my sister, kind of the same flight, but it's a little different view that it's not your normal view. So that was pretty cool.